In 1638, starving Dutch sailors staggered onto the shores of Mauritius after 6 brutal months at sea. From the dense jungle, a strange creature emerged, a bird as tall as a toddler, curious, calm, completely unafraid of humans. That innocence sealed its fate. Within just 24 years, every single dodo on Earth was wiped out. No survivors, no second chances, total extinction. But now, centuries later, inside a high-tech lab in Texas, scientists are using CRISPR gene editing technology to attempt the impossible, bringing the dodo back from the dead. This is the story of evolution's most infamous loss, humanity's fastest caused extinction, and the terrifying question, what if extinction isn't forever? Stay with me, because this one changes everything. The island paradise. 4 million years ago, a volcano exploded in the middle of the Indian Ocean. When the smoke cleared, there was Mauritius, a jungle paradise that would eventually host over 700 species found nowhere else on Earth. Then one day, during a massive storm, a pigeon got very lost. This pigeon landed expecting to rest, find food, and continue its journey. But when it looked around, it found paradise. No predators, food everywhere. Why would it ever leave? If it were me, I sure won't. So it didn't. And neither did its descendants. Generation after generation, these pigeons adapted to their predator-free environment. Scientists call this island gigantism. Basically, what happens when evolution removes all threats and you have unlimited access to premium comfort. From the size of a bird that could fit in your palm, they grew into 3-foot-tall beasts weighing 40 to 50 pounds. Their legs got thick and muscular for sprinting through dense forest. Their beaks turned into massive curved hooks, perfect for cracking nuts. Most remarkably, they stopped flying entirely. When you're the apex species and everything you need is on the ground, wings become optional equipment. But the dodo wasn't just living on this island, it was maintaining the entire ecosystem. Every time a dodo ate fruit, it swallowed the seeds whole, waddled through the forest, and nature took its course. Those seeds came out in natural fertilizer, ready to sprout. Some trees could only germinate after their seeds passed through a dodo's digestive system. The acids in the dodo's stomach broke down the seed coat, boosting germination rates by up to 70%. The dodo was essentially a walking gardener, keeping the entire island alive. For millions of years, this system worked perfectly. The dodo had no idea what was coming. When humans arrived. In 1505, Portuguese sailors stumbled onto Mauritius, filled their water barrels, and left. The dodos barely noticed. But in 1638, the Dutch showed up, wanting to colonize. Imagine being a dodo that day. Your entire evolutionary history says nothing that 2 legs are dangerous. Then these strange creatures emerge from the forest. The dodo's response? It walked right up to them, completely fearless. Biologists call this island tameness, animals losing their fear responses because they've never needed them. The Dutch called the bird dodars, which translates to fat ass in Old Dutch. Not exactly respectful, but technically accurate. The dodo did have a fat ass. Within days, dodos became regular menu items. They were slow, fearless, and packed with meat. Hunting them was so easy and stress-free, and most importantly, they were described as delicious. But humans eating dodos wasn't the main problem. The real disaster arrived in the cargo hold: rats, pigs, cats, monkeys, and goats. These invasive species discovered an island with 0 predators and unlimited food. Black rats found dodo nests and started having breakfast in bed, fresh eggs every morning. Pigs discovered baby dodos were easy prey. Monkeys competed with adults for fruit and usually won. Dodo mothers laid exactly 1 egg per year with 90 days of incubation. Meanwhile, humans have cleared about 90% of the forests for farmland. The dodo's food vanished, their nesting sites disappeared. The island transformed from paradise to survival zone in 1 generation. By 1660, perhaps 50 dodos remained. The last confirmed sighting was in 1662. 24 years. That's how long it took to erase a species that survived millions of years of natural selection. Resurrection science. In a lab in Austin, Texas, scientists at Colossal Biologicals are attempting something extraordinary, bringing back the dodo. Now, before you say, that is totally impossible, hear me out. In 2002, a team led by Beth Shapiro at Oxford University extracted ancient DNA from dodo bone samples in a Danish museum. Using modern sequencing tools, they pieced together the dodo's genetic code in remarkable detail. But having the genetic code isn't the same as having a living bird. DNA alone cannot grow or hatch from an egg. They needed a living relative. The closest living relative of the dodo is the Nicobar pigeon. Despite splitting from a common ancestor about 25 million years ago, their DNA remains remarkably similar. This makes the Nicobar pigeon a potential biological stand-in. The process works in stages. First, researchers identify the specific genes that made the dodo unique: its large body, flightlessness, distinctive beak, and feather patterns. Next, they use CRISPR gene editing to modify reproductive cells from the Nicobar pigeon, replacing certain pigeon genes with dodo versions. Those edited cells create embryos that would develop in the lab initially, then potentially be placed into a Nicobar pigeon to continue growing. The result wouldn't be a perfect genetic copy of the original dodo. It would be more like a carefully engineered cousin designed to express dodo traits through its closest living relative. Think of it as biological reconstruction rather than resurrection. Recent discoveries helped this effort. In 2023, researchers returned to Mauritius and found new skeletal remains. Tests showed the dodo likely ate more than just fruit, probably small animals like snails too. This suggests it played a wider ecological role than previously understood. Each discovery helps scientists better understand what they're trying to recreate. But it also raises a fundamental question. Just because we can, should we? The ecological case. Now, the world is divided on this case. Critics argue that the money should go to protecting living species, not reviving extinct ones. That's a fair point. Many species today are struggling to survive and are close to extinction. But supporters argue this isn't just about the dodo. It's about repairing damaged ecosystems and developing tools to protect wildlife. When the dodo disappeared, Mauritius didn't just lose one bird. It lost a critical ecosystem engineer. The dodo was likely a major seed disperser. One tree, the dodo tree, depends on strong digestion to help its seeds germinate. After the dodo went extinct around the 1700s, these trees stopped reproducing well. By 1977, only 13 remained, all elderly. Today, at least 10 plant species in Mauritius face similar problems. Bringing back a large fruit-eating bird could help restore these natural processes. There's also a technology argument. The genetic tools being developed for the dodo could help living species right now. Take the pink pigeon in Mauritius. Only about 500 remain, down from over 100,000. The bottleneck left them with dangerously low genetic diversity, leading to fertility problems and weak immune systems. If the technology works for the dodo, it could help endangered birds facing a similar genetic decline. The dodo becomes a test case for whether advanced genetic rescue can work at scale. The bigger question. Successful dodo de-extinction would represent a fundamental shift in conservation biology. For the first time, humans would witness the resurrection of a species we drove to extinction, a rare event that would happen for the first time. But it opens difficult questions. If we gain the power to bring species back, how do we decide which ones? The passenger pigeon? The Tasmanian tiger? We can't revive everything, so who chooses? The International Union for Conservation of Nature suggests guidelines. A species should only be considered if it played an important ecological role, if suitable habitat still exists, and if revival wouldn't create new risks. There's also the authenticity question. A gene-edited Nicobar pigeon expressing dodo traits wouldn't be genetically identical to the original. Some critics call this Frankenstein conservation, creating new organisms shaped by human design rather than natural evolution. Others respond that ecological function matters more than genetic purity. If the bird fills the same role in the ecosystem, perhaps perfect authenticity isn't necessary. The real debate isn't just whether we can bring back the dodo. It's about how we use powerful new tools and whether they serve long-term ecological benefits or short-term technological ambition. Are you team bring back the dodo or team let the past stay within the past? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more on conservation science and the technologies shaping our planet's future.